Every superhero movie has its own mighty yet underrated hero. Ororo Munroe is one of the most powerful mutants on Earth. She can summon all forms of meteorological tempests such as tornadoes, thunderstorms, blizzards and hurricanes. She's even demonstrated the ability to control natural forces like cosmic storms, solar wind, ocean currents and the electromagnetic field. However, for some reason, in each film she's given no more than about 5 minutes of screen time. But how badass these minutes are. Not only is she a strong superhero, she's also a loyal friend, a brave leader, and dare I say it, an attractive young woman. Today we present to you the top 10 most epic scenes with Storm aka Ororo Munroe from the X-Men movies. Make sure to watch till the end, you'll be pleasantly surprised, I'll tell you. But before we begin, why don't you hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our videos. Now let's begin, shall we?
What are you doing?
Making you stronger, my goddess.
And we're starting with the X-Men Apocalypse movie. Number 10, Apocalypse empowers Storm. Young Ororo brings the Apocalypse to her home in the slums of Egypt. Apocalypse has infinite power, but in a new world it seems powerless. So much has happened on Earth in thousands of years of incarceration. It turns out that Ororo accidentally contributed to the plans of Apocalypse. He gets all the news of the world through a working television in seconds. Now the Apocalypse wants to restore power to the gods, that's to say, to the mutants, and he needs supporters. Ororo becomes his first assistant. From this scene we find out who gave Storm her amazing powers. From a petty thief in the market, she becomes the ruler of the elements real quick. This is the reason why you shouldn't learn from TV. The last part of the franchise right now is the Dark Phoenix. Let's remember some badass moments from that movie. Number 9 is Storm arguing with Professor X. We're at the moment in the film when all forces are united to find Jean Grey. Some want revenge for Raven's death, the others want to save Jean Grey from herself. Hank goes to Magneto to ask for his help, but Professor X on the other hand doesn't want to ask for any support. He's already lost a lot of his darling students and he doesn't want to risk yet another life.
I have lost so many of the people I love. I'm not going to ask you to go.
But Storm, she has a different opinion. She's an adult and knows what's right. With Scott's support, she convinces the professor that he needs her help. This one scene is the best depiction of the deep respect and friendship Scott and Ororo always had. It also shows her leadership skills, because to be honest, without Storm, it's going to be tough to get Jean. Storm plays a big role in the movie, yet this might not be obvious for some. We continue and move on to number 8, another scene from Dark Phoenix, the scene on the train. Now the mutants are locked on a prison train, but not for long. The aliens return to retrieve the remaining powers from Jean Grey and they accidentally release the X-Men from their temporary prison. Now at this tragic moment, when all of humanity is on the verge of extinction due to foreign enemies, Xavier's team and Magneto's team join forces to save Jean and fight back the aliens. Storm plays a key role in the rescue operation. She uses her terrestrial powers to stop extraterrestrials. First she paralyzes them with lightning bolts, then Magneto and Storm act together. Ororo uses the wind to throw the aliens into another wagon, and Magneto detaches the wagon from the train. Cooperation there, not the only example of the work of Magneto and Storm. We'll see about that later. Have to point out that's like 10% of her capabilities, by the way. Storm is level Omega Mutant, yet for some reason Fox continues to downgrade her powers in the movies. But continue watching because we're going to recap more of her powers in the next few scenes.
What are you doing?
We're travelling in the past now for the X2 movie. At number 7, Storm and Kurt save Professor Xavier. Jason's trapped with Christopher in Cerebro and forces him to kill people with his mental powers. Kurt teleports inside Cerebro with Storm, but they're under an illusion. There's a little girl in the way of the mutants who can't be manipulated. Physical strength doesn't help here at all, but Storm finds a unique way to break the illusion.
Kurt, it's about to get very cold in here.
she creates a bitter cold, which is enough to affect Jason and distract him from Xavier. It's marvelous how Storm can find a way out of any situation. Like the quote says, if you control the weather, you control the world. See? Isn't she one of the most underrated mutants, right?
Inez.
And here we are back to the Apocalypse movie. Number 6, Storm meets Apocalypse. The first appearance of the vigorous villain to the brave new world. He seems to be confused at first, but he meets a young mutant girl. We see Storm in an unusual appearance here, a young girl from a poor family who's doing petty theft to make both ends meet. Not exactly a Mother Nature-ish kind of hero now, is she? But remember kids, stealing only causes trouble, and Ororo catches up with instant karma. She's spotted, and the thief tries to flee the crime scene, but she quickly finds herself surrounded by thugs ready to kill her. And here comes the unexpected savior, the Apocalypse, who'll later become her first mentor.
We can't stop that many.
No, but we can slow them down.
At number 5, it's the Future Battle. Let's recap the Days of Future Past movie where the X-Men universe was rebooted. Logan was sent to the past to change the future and prevent a war with the Sentinels. X-Men, like the rest of humanity, are threatened with extinction. They expect a miracle from Logan, but they know they can't win this war, so they can only fight to the end. So here we have the great Magneto teaming up with Storm again to Omega levels. It's just fascinating to watch the understanding between Storm and Magneto, because at this point they'd been a fighting team for some time now. No words needed to be spoken between them. The finality of having to destroy their only escape, the Blackbird, and the morbid fact and the acceptance, if Storm didn't die first, everything could be different.
I knew you'd come.
Of course. I've come to bring you home.
I have no home.
Do you remember the Last Stand movie? It was X-Men number 3. Well, in that case, it's number 4, Storm versus Callisto. X-Men came to Jean Grey's house. Magneto wants to use Jean Grey's powers to his advantage, and Xavier hopes to stop Jean before she makes a massive mistake. And then, here comes Storm. It's just funny how her rivals try to stop her. Quill thinks he's actually going to do something to Storm. You can make spikes appear on your skin. Great, but this chick can fly, summon lightning, hail, and windstorm. But Callisto doesn't think so. A pretty hardcore fistfight successfully smooths a superhero movie.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
In third place, we're recapping the first appearance of Storm in X-Men. Storm and Cyclops go looking for the escaped Rogue, but they're not the only ones looking for her. Sabertooth takes the fragile Storm by the neck and she's about to be strangled. Mother Nature herself shouldn't be treated this way. Even without Cyclops' help, Storm deals with a man twice her size. The fact that Storm can control the weather is the reason why she's so strong, and it's also the reason why she had to be scaled down drastically to be portrayed not too strong in the next movies. Now, a little further on in the movie, X-Men are storming Magneto. There's a reason I used the word storming to describe that battle when Halle Berry comes to the scene. She meets Todd on her way. And somehow the Frogman manages to defeat Storm and throw her into the elevator shaft. Not so fast, buddy. Storm sweeps Todd effectively like dust. He grabs the slightest hope of salvation with a long tongue, but he's better off just flying away. Finally, Storm says her legendary phrase.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Wouldn't it be nice if they gave Storm more than 2 lines in every movie? And we continue with Storm facing Callisto. Number 2 is their second meeting. Now, in the movie, the X-Men are trying to save a kid with a unique ability to cure mutants, but they'll have to face an updated Magneto squad with mighty Jean Grey. Callisto remembers what Storm's capable of, so she tries to take her out of the game first. Another epic woman fight, but you can't fight with your hands forever, can you? And at the right time, the good old-fashioned lightning bolt saves the night. Do you know what happens to Callisto when she's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everyone else. Storm was clearly going easy on her. And now to the final scene on our list. Number 1 is 100 tornadoes. Sometimes Storm can even surprise us, big fans of the series. The X-Men flee on the Blackbird, but they have 2 fighters on their tail. How do you shoot down a bird if you don't have a gun on board?
Don't we have any weapons in this heat?
And you can't burn fire and freeze ice. You ask Storm for help now, don't you? Without much effort, she manages to sum up about 100 tornadoes, everything in order to stop just 2 planes.
Warning, warning.
Remember when Magneto was moving the bridge in the stadium? What do you say about 100 tornadoes at the same time? Who can compare to the power of Storm? Except Jean Grey, of course. You should agree, though, that Storm is the most underrated Marvel character. Wish they'd make a movie about Storm. It would just be awesome. I think we've looked at all the Storm appearances in all of the movies, and I still don't think we've had enough. Maybe we don't get a lot of Storm on purpose. Maybe it's to take our interest to the maximum, and then eventually they'll make a fully fledged movie. The rumours are out, so for now we can only wait for the next X-Men movie. Let us know what you think about all of these scenes. Which one would you put in first place? Thank you for watching, and see you next time. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Have a great day.